Item D, adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of San Bruno calling for a number of things. The first is calling for the holding of the general municipal election to be held Tuesday, November 3rd, 2009, for the election of certain officers as required by the provisions of the laws of the State of California relating to general law cities. Second, ordering the submission to the voters of a question relating to increasing the city's transient occupancy tax to hotel guests to 12%. Third, providing city clerk direction regarding election and measure setting priorities for filing written arguments regarding a city measure and directing the city attorney to prepare an impartial analysis. Fourth, requesting the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Mateo to render specified services to the city relating to the conduct of a general municipal election to be held on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2009, requesting the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Mateo to consolidate a general municipal election to be held on November 3rd, 2009, with other elections to be held on the same date pursuant to Section 10403 of the Elections Code, adopting regulations for candidates for elective offices pertaining to candidate statements submitted to the voters at an election to be held on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2009, and lastly, providing for given notice of the election. City Attorney?
Mr. Mayor, having read the title of that, I'm not sure that there is much that I need to add to my report. So I will say just this. Having earlier this evening introduced the ordinance that we would bring to the voters that would increase the transit occupancy tax. In order to get that to the voters, there are a number of election activities that the City Council needs to approve through this resolution. You've gone through that list, and in short, it is calling for the election. It is placing a particular question regarding the measure on the ballot. So you'll want to look at the wording of that, which is on page 62, to make sure that that comports with your desires. The wording for that is to preserve funding for general city services. Shall the City of San Bruno approve an ordinance amending the San Bruno Municipal Code to increase the transit occupancy tax rate from 10% to 12% on the rent charge to hotel guests within the city, and then voters would be able to answer yes or no to that. In addition to declaring the election and putting the measure before the voters, the City Council has some other actions to take. One is that the City Council could authorize its membership to write arguments either for or against the measure, and so that would need to be clearly articulated this evening whether you wish to do that. The second would be whether to authorize rebuttal arguments, which typically the City Council has authorized, and also whether to authorize me as City Attorney to prepare an impartial analysis of the measure. In addition, you would be directing the City Clerk to work with the county officials to consolidate the election and allow them to provide election services. There are also some regulations that are enacted through the resolution relating to the preparation of the candidate statements, and finally directing the City Clerk to publish these notices. The City Clerk has worked with me carefully on these resolutions, and in addition, she wanted to make sure that the voters are aware of exactly which offices are up for election this November.
In this upcoming election, we will have a mayoral seat, 2 council members, 1 city treasurer, and 1 city clerk. The filing period for these offices will begin on July 13th and close on August 7th. And there will be packets in my office available on July 13th. And we'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions of the clerk? Okay. On the items before us regarding the ballot arguments and proposed arguments, what's the council's pleasure?
Yes.
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 Okay, I'm hearing an indication from one council member. Do you need that as an actual motion or just?
No, and it's the, as I understand it, would be authorizing the council as a whole to do arguments in favor. And then the rebuttal arguments, do you authorize rebuttal arguments in this,
yes,
regarding this measure? And then do you authorize me as city attorney to prepare an impartial analysis?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, on the resolution, is there action from council to introduce the resolution?
I'll introduce the resolution for adoption.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Ruane.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Mayor Franzella.
Aye.